Good morning. Oh, there we are. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Kitsap Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whoever you are and wherever you come from, for this hour we here are one gathered congregation, and all are welcome. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our musical call to worship, O Come, Emmanuel, hymn number 225 in our gray hymnal. That is 225. Thank you. It sounds like some of you should be talking about getting over here to the choir sometime. You have some good voices out there. Come. My name is Ed Luby. I am a middle-aged man. I do sit in a wheelchair for at least 16 hours a day. I am wearing a gray, what is described as a newsboy hat. I've got a kind of whitish shirt on, which, by the way, gets grayer as it gets rainier and the mud comes up on me. And when I stand 6'2", so if you ever see me standing, you'll see a whole different Ed. I have served this community as a board member. I sing with the choir. I lay lead, obviously. I attend ush on times. I am an usher. And I am always astounded by the talent that we have in this group that makes this community function. Our guest speaker today, let me see, we don't have that written out there. Pardon? Yes, I know that, thank you. Oh, it's on the next page, sorry. My brain got flubbered a little bit here. I'm working on a little sleep. Our guest speaker today is the Reverend Carol McKinley. Reverend Carol is a community minister in Olympia focusing on social justice. She's also KUUF's longest ministerial support and our dear friend, and I think, honestly, a mentor to many of us in this room. If you are visiting this morning, please participate as you feel comfortable. If you're here in person, fidget toys and a rocking chair are available for wiggles and sensory needs. We also have assistive listening systems available. If you need one, please see one of our ushers. You're also invited to stay and meet people during the coffee hour. Many members of the congregation attend online. If you're visiting online today, you're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat. A fairly recent addition to our order of service is this wonderful little thing. This is a calendar that will tell you all the things that are happening in KUUF coming on the next few weeks. Today, for instance, we have the grief group who is meeting in the Elmore room at 11:45. It also mentions coffee hour, which you'll hear about more later on. More announcements about Kitsap UU Fellowship activities are available in our weekly newsletter, The Candle, and you can sign up for that on the website or in the foyer. Now let's take a moment of silence, to silence any of our electronic devices that you don't need to be monitoring for the next hour. And join me in taking a few centering breaths to bring us more fully into this place to receive the message and fellowship that follow. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the Aboriginal territory of the Suquamish people. Expert fishermen, canoe builders, and basket weavers, the Suquamish live in harmony with the lands and waterways along Washington's Central Salish Sea, as they have for thousands of years. Here, the Suquamish live and protect the lands and waters of their ancestors for future generations, as promised by the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855.
Carol McKinley. I have white hair, red rimmed glasses, a blue jacket, and a stole with dove and olive branches symbolizing the peace of this season. Our opening words are from the Reverend Pat Uribe Litchie. She writes, "We gather to find new ways of loving, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. Yes, we gather. Always we gather, for it is in gathering that we find our hope." Good morning on this anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day. We welcome you all in that lasting hope for peace.
Now we would like to welcome Vernita Byron up to light our chalice. Vernita joined our church in 2021 during the pandemic. What a time to join. She serves on the board currently and leads the events team that assists with memorial services. That team needs more members, by the way, so please let her know after service if you would be willing to help. If you have your own chalice at home, please light it as I read our chalice lighting words from the Reverend Deborah Falk. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world of crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community.
As Vernita remains with us, we'll settle into these colder days, wetter days, longer nights, and look forward to the return of the light later this month. Now we come to a time in our fellowship where we light a new Advent candle each Sunday until Christmas Eve. This morning, Vernita will light the second Advent candle, the candle of peace. The flame of each new candle grows brighter and brighter each Sunday, guiding us toward deeper faith, increased hope, shared joy, and more love.
Please join me in our reciting our spoken affirmation. The words will appear on the screen. We gather as a caring community seeking life's deeper meanings. We value diversity and affirm the worth of all living things. We strive to speak truth in love, to act for justice, to grow in spirit, and to care for the earth. We celebrate with open hearts and minds the creative power that sustains and transforms us. Please now rise in body or in spirit to join in singing the African American Civil Rights Hymn number 30 in our gray hymnal, Over My Head. The words will also appear on the screen.
Good morning. I am Melinda Hughes. I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Formation. This morning, I'm wearing a cream-colored cardigan and a gray sweater. I have black glasses and red with some purple in it hair. Today's story comes from our Unitarian Universalist history and is about the brilliant, modest, and still little known inspirational UU, Lewis Latimer. Does anybody heard that name before? A couple people. Well, you get to learn about him this morning. Lewis Latimer literally created light for us. Latimer became one of the first African-American inventors and helped found the Unitarian Universalist, the Unitarian at that time, church in Flushing, New York. Here is the story. Once upon a time, not too long ago, there was a boy named Lewis Latimer. Lewis didn't grow up with everything handed to him. In fact, life was often very hard. His parents had been enslaved until they escaped. When he was little, his family sometimes had to move from house to house just to stay safe. Even though Lewis didn't get to go to fancy schools, he loved to learn. He drew, he tinkered, and he dreamed. When he was only 16, he even joined the Navy by lying about his age, because he wanted to help fight for freedom during the Civil War. When he came home, he found a job at a law office that worked with inventions. At first, he was just the office boy, the kid who swept the floors, ran errands, but Lewis had hope. He watched carefully, learned how to draw technical designs, and practiced late at night with tools he bought himself. Slowly but surely, he became so good at drawing inventions that he rose all the way to being the head draftsman. But even then, he wasn't paid as much as the white workers. He could have given up. He could have decided it wasn't fair, and it wasn't. But instead, Lewis kept choosing and making hope with his own hands and heart. One day, Lewis helped Alexander Graham Bell. Have you heard of him? Yeah. He helped Alexander Graham Bell design the very first telephone. And later, he worked on the electric light bulb. Have you heard of Thomas Edison? Well, he worked with Thomas Edison. Edison's first light bulb burned out after just a couple days. Not very helpful. But Lewis figured out how to make the filaments, the part inside the bulb, last much, much longer. Because of him, light bulbs became something ordinary families could actually use. Think about that. The reason we can turn on a lamp or a light in our home today is partly because Lewis Latimer never gave up, and because he chose hope where others only saw problems. But here's something important. Most history books don't include his name. They don't include his name because he was black. Even though he helped change the world, many people ignored him. Yet Lewis kept on shining. He wrote poems, played music, painted pictures, and even helped start a Unitarian church in Queens, New York. His portrait still hangs there today. Lewis once wrote about electric light. He said, "Like the light of the sun, it beautifies all things on which it shines, and no less welcome in the palace than in the humblest home." This story reminds us that hope doesn't just appear. We don't just find it lying around like a seashell on a beach. Hope is something we make, something we choose, together and inside ourselves. Lewis made hope by working hard, by believing in his dreams, and by sharing his light with others. And if he could do that, so can we. Every time we help someone, every time we imagine a better future, every time we create something new, we are making hope. So, next time you flip on a light switch, remember Lewis Latimer, the man who helped bring light into the world and who shows us that hope is not only found, but made.
As a religious community, together we can do the work of many. By sharing in the sacred act of giving, we transform gratitude into generosity towards our mission. One way that our mission inspires us to act on our shared UU values is to share our weekly offering with a local nonprofit agency providing services within our larger community. Our charitable giving recipient for the month of December is Planned Parenthood's Bremerton Health Center, located on Rydell Road, less than 1.5 miles from KUUF. It works to protect and expand access to the sexual and reproductive health care and education. It is a trusted source of health care and education for people of all genders in communities across the country and here in Kitsap County. If you would like your offering to go to this month's charitable giving recipient, Planned Parenthood's Bremerton Health Center, please use the envelope from inside your order of service. If you need an envelope, please raise your hand and the ushers will bring you one. If you would like your offering, however, to go to KUUF, please put it directly in the basket. Instructions on other ways to make your gift, including a QR code, will be on screen. Let there be an offering to strengthen and sustain our beloved community with a gift of music from our choir, directed by Alina Hemingway.
Than a carol. What sweeter music can we bring than a carol for to sing? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol? Than a carol. What sweeter music can we bring than a carol for to sing? Awake the voice, awake the string. Heaven, earth, and everything. Joy has come this December day. Let sadness fly away. What sweeter music can we bring than a carol, than a carol? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol for to sing? We come in song, we flourish here, near the end of another year. Hearts be light and minds be strong, come join us in our song. What sweeter music can we bring than a carol, than a carol? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol for to sing? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol, than a carol? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol for to sing? What sweeter music can we bring than a carol to sing? Than a carol for to sing, than a carol for to sing.
And I'm back. Please rise and body your spirit to join me in singing our children up to their classes. The words, "May you go with joy," will appear on the screens. Speaking of joy, now is time for our joys and sorrows. We are grateful for our caring committee who reach out to anyone who requests contact when they submit a joy or sorrow. When shared together, our joys are amplified and our sorrows lessened. Our first joy comes from Audrey Lively. I'm sorry, I don't get these names in advance, so if I butcher your name, please forgive me. The joy is, my parents closed on a house in the area and soon will be living near us and their grandson, Teddy. An anonymous joy that we have says, I feel so blessed and grateful. Sometimes just a text, email, or a hand on your shoulder is all it takes to make someone feel seen, heard, and feel like someone that actually matters. Things aren't perfect, and that's a rarity anyway, but I'm hopeful for a bright new year, a year of change, a year of courage, and a year of prosperity. Thank you for reaching out so I'm not so alone. I do not stay in sadness, and I know that too shall pass. Blessings to all of you. We have a joy from Jess Vander Gallion. I am delighted to share that one of my paintings was invited to a local juried show. Over the course of 2 years, I poured my heart into this story of rebirth, and to have it honored in this way is a profound joy. We have a joy from Bonner Sams. Bonner's joy says, he's happy for the auction event last night. Liz and Brian showed up to watch Rudolph and Charlie Brown Christmas. We enjoyed 4 different holiday cookies and Mexican hot chocolate. Good times indeed. Related, from Brian Watson, we have a joy for Bronner Sams and all of his generosity in hosting the Christmas Cartoon Classics watch party. He bakes a mean Christmas cookie. Yes.
Is there a sorrow from the cookies?
I have a joy for all of the people in this community who showed up to our shows for our West Sound Chorus and Acapella Sound Stations Chorus yesterday for our Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer show. Thank you all for supporting our group and being such a vital part of our being. And I say that on behalf of myself, Mike Menifee, Alan Menifee, and Brian Kenny. Thank you. My brain is not working well. And I have another thank you for all joy for all of the busyness that we have behind the scenes. I don't know if all of you realize what it takes to make these kind of productions happen. Between our music, our choir director, our music director, our tech team, our fantastic tech team, thank you very much, our worship coordinators, our ushers, our speakers. It really does, and really when it comes down to it, all of the committees, our board of directors, it really does take a village to make this run. So thank you. It is my great joy to be a part of this community. And we will light, by the way, my voice. You may have noticed my voice is a little bit different today. It's because of the show yesterday. And we will light one more candle for those joys and sorrows that are still too tender to share. Let us join our hearts and minds in the quiet of meditation and prayer with these words by Judith Quarles. How shall we pray? First, let us be open to the silence. Let us hear the sounds in this room, the noises outside, and the comfortable murmur from the children who were just with us. Let us begin to hear the soft beating of our hearts, and let us listen intently for messages from within. Next, let us feel gratitude for our lives and our beautiful earth. As hard as life gets, as sad or lonely as we sometimes feel, let us always be warmed by the gifts of this life. Next, let us hold in our hearts all those, known or unknown, who are in need. May we find in ourselves the energy and knowledge to bring care to the world. And finally, let us be aware of the blessing that is not ours alone to do the work of the world. Love and community work wonders that we by ourselves could never manage. In this time of silence, let us form our own prayers out of the concerns of our hearts. Amen. Please remain seated as we sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, in our gray hymnal. The words will appear on our screen.
Spirit
The American author and activist Rebecca Solnit writes, "Hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is room to act. When you recognize uncertainty, you recognize that you may be able to influence the outcomes, you alone or you in concert with a few dozen or several million others. Hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think it will all be fine without our involvement, and pessimists take the opposite position. Both excuse themselves from acting. Hope is the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter and who and what it may impact are not things that we can know beforehand.
Is from the Reverend Victoria Safford. She writes, "Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, nor the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges, nor the cheerful, flimsy gate of everything is going to be all right, but a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling about your own soul, first of all, and its condition, the place of resistance and defiance, the piece of ground from which you see the world both as it is and as it could be, as it will be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but the joy of struggle. And we stand there beckoning and calling, telling people what we are seeing, asking people what they see." And that's the end of this reading. Let us pause now for a moment of reflection, followed by our post-reflection music. again, many thanks to all of you. This morning, we lit the second Advent candle. And in the Christian tradition, the Advent season invites us into these days leading up to Christmas. Each Sunday, as another candle is lighted, we are being asked to sit back, put those holiday preparations on hold, and take some quiet time to contemplate the mystical union that brings us together, the mystery of our existence and of the hope held in our hearts. For Christians around the world, Advent is the time of waiting for a blessed birth, the coming of the Messiah, of the Christ. The Advent candle symbolizes the light of hope and the mystery of this season. Advent is a great reminder to be patient, to reflect on what we hope to see emerge from the mystery around us. And so Advent remains, year after year, a season of hope. As days shorten and shadows lengthen, we're reminded of something ancient in the human spirit, that instinct to search for light. Long before we had electricity or calendars, people gathered around fires in the dark months, telling stories, singing, and reminding one another that even the darkest nights do not last forever. It's no coincidence that there are so many holidays around this darkest time of the year, holy days, celebrated by people across this time and across geography. Just as the Advent candles symbolize the light and hope that dwell within this darkest time of the year, our neighbors' traditions too are filled with light. The 8 candles on the Hanukkah menorah, the winter solstice fires, they all offer light and warmth in the darkness. They remind us of the mystery and the hope within flickering lights. They remind us of what is actually possible. For more than 13,000 years, humans have developed ways to celebrate the winter solstice, marking the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, the day with the fewest hours of sunlight. And after the solstice, of course, the days begin to lengthen. I can hardly wait for those, signaling the return of light to the world. Since those ancient times, people have celebrated this astronomical event with a variety of different cultural and religious traditions. Fire and light are traditional symbols of the winter solstice, as is the ceremonial burning of logs to welcome the sun back to the earth. For Jews, the Hanukkah menorah, the festival, is a reminder of that time over 2,000 years ago when the Jews won a battle against the occupying Greeks who had banned all Jewish rituals. A small group of Jews called the Maccabees fought against this, and after a war that lasted for 3 years, they won. However, their Jewish temple, their most sacred place, had been destroyed. So after their victory, the Jews cleaned and repaired the temple. And in celebration, the temple's oil lamp was lit to celebrate that victory. Although there was only enough oil in the lamp to burn for 1 day, miraculously, it burned for 8 days. And its light brought hope to the Jewish people who celebrate that hope by lighting the 8 candles in the menorah during Hanukkah, the festival of lights. And for Christians around the world, as I mentioned before, Advent is a time of waiting for the blessed birth of their Savior. The Advent candle reminds the people of the eternal light of hope. Lights are strung on trees and homes to illuminate the dark, to draw people into the light, into the mystery of this season. The flickering Advent candle is a reminder to be patient, and during the time of waiting, to reflect on what is hoped will emerge. Now, timeless stories like these are repeated from generation to generation. Bonfires, lamps, and candles illuminate these darkening days as light becomes a symbol of hope, as it has for millennia for those who celebrate the winter solstice, Hanukkah, Advent, and Christmas. Friday evening, I went to see, probably for the millionth time, at least in my memory, the production at our local theater in Olympia of A Christmas Carol. And each year I think, do I really want to see this again? And yet I go, and it is such an amazing story of light and hope that I always emerge thinking, oh, that was really great and inspiring. So from time immemorial, light has lifted up hope, reminding all of us that every small flame offers promise that the darkness will eventually lift. And we need that reminder. During these darkest days of the year, we may feel we cannot just sit back, wait, and hope. In time of turmoil and conflict around the world and in this country, it seems counterintuitive to pause, to indulge in just quiet hope. It would seem that it would be more appropriate to be mourning and lamenting. Yet that is exactly what the light on these dark winter days invites us to do, to continue to hope for peace, for a world that sets aside self-centered struggles for power and wealth and focuses on the common good of all people, for this earth we share. Yes, these dark winter days are time of expectation. Maybe you're waiting for a visit from an old friend, or for a long-planned vacation, or just for an opportunity to sit down and read that new novel. The wonderful thing about waiting is that it is, or should be, open-ended. You're not sure how that vacation will actually play out. Will it really be all you hope for? Will that time with the old friend be rich with shared memories and laughter? Or will that novel that you've been wanting to read be as engrossing for you as it was for that New York Times book reviewer? Well, maybe and maybe not. Although you may not be sure of the outcome until the last page of that novel, you hold out hope that the book will be the best one you've read all year. You and your family, no doubt, have your own holiday traditions, going to the forest to cut your own tree. Remember those days? Opening the doors on the Advent calendar each morning to see what is hidden within. Those doors offer hope. And if you're lucky, your calendar doors may actually hold a chocolate treat. But hope is sometimes misunderstood. It is not wishful thinking, nor is it forced optimism. It is not pretending that everything is fine, nor is it waiting passively for someone else to make things better. It is choosing to look for possibility, even in moments of exhaustion. Hope is believing that human beings, as flawed, brave, tender, complicated as we all are, can still be sources of comfort and healing. And when we gather in community, as we are this morning, we practice hope together. We practice hope when we show up for one another in grief and in celebration. We practice hope when we cultivate joy, the joy of music. And we cultivate that not as an escape, but as nourishment for the long road of hope ahead. We practice hope when we work for justice, imagining a future that is more fair than at the present. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, Hope is an act of defiance. It is choosing to believe that the world can be made more whole, even when the evidence is mixed. It is choosing to look for possibility even when we are exhausted. Hope is a reminder that no one's story is finished, that transformation is always possible. The late Buddhist scholar and environmental activist Joanna Macy understood hope not as wishful thinking, but as a practice. Hope as a practice. In her book, Active Hope, she reminds us, like Tai Chi or gardening, it is something we do rather than have. It is a process we can apply to any situation, and it involves 3 key steps. First, we take a clear view of reality. Second, we identify what we hope for in terms of the directions we'd like things to move in or the values we'd like to see expressed. And third, we take steps to move ourselves or our situation in that direction. Since active hope, says Macy, doesn't require our optimism, we can apply it even in areas where we might feel hopeless. The guiding impetus is intention. We choose what we aim to bring about, act for, or express. Rather than weighing our chances and proceeding only when we feel hopeful, we focus on our intention and let it be our guide. Joanna Macy continues, active hope involves identifying the outcomes we hope for and then playing an active role in bringing them about. We don't wait until we are sure of success. We don't limit our choices to the outcomes that seem most likely. Instead, we focus on what we truly, deeply long for, and then we proceed to take determined steps in that direction. So as Unitarian Universalists, we practice hope when we work for justice, imagining a future that is more fair than the present, and also taking steps to make that future possible. We practice hope when we cultivate joy, not as an escape, but as nourishment for the long road ahead. The ancient traditions of this season remind us that hope is not fragile. It is not fragile, it is persistent, a reminder that even in dark times, we are never without the capacity to bring joy, justice, or love into the world. A reminder that hope calls us gently but firmly to be bearers of hope for each other. Think back to those dark days beginning in March 2020. That strange, deadly virus, COVID, shut down virtually everything, drastically altering our lives, severing daily interactions with others, closing businesses, even limiting trips to the grocery store. Streets and freeways suddenly became empty as people began working from home, and other regular activities like going to the market or the gym or to school ended. For the first time in most of our memories, we became isolated in our homes, watching the devastating news of COVID's deadly impact on lives all around the world. Our own lives hit pause, and we were uncertain when and how they might resume. In my neighborhood in Olympia, a neighbor who would normally be going to work in her law office began to respond to this crisis of isolation, to the feeling of not knowing what to do. She created a spreadsheet that included the names and contact information for everyone within about a 3-block area to build a virtual community with which people could reach out for support. or even just for a casual conversation. We might post to the list if we were heading to the store to get supplies at the outdoor pickup location and invited others to let us know what we might pick up for them. Need cat food? Yeah, I can pick up a bag of Purina indoor cat chow. Milk, 2% or whole. Greens? Yes, I'll put those on my order for that contact pickup at Fred Meyer. So the building of relationships continued during the shutdown. We had recommendations for movies to watch online, books to read, organizers of Zoom discussions about those books and movies. We shared recipes between and among our neighbors. We not only developed new relationships with people we might not have known before, but maintained hope that, yes, those human connections still existed. Now, perhaps you found new ways to develop or maintain those relationships in your own neighborhood or communities during COVID. Ways to inspire and practice hope, to respond to that need for connection, that most vital of our human needs. That need inspired amazing work right here at KUUF to offer Sunday services online, to keep critical connections and relationships intact and flourishing, even as we remained distant from one another, to share hopeful messages with each other. And yes, as Ed had mentioned, it takes a lot of work to do that. Thanks to the worship committee, to the board, to our wonderful tech team for finding new ways to bring hope to this faith community, and for finding new ways to nurture our spirit together. When we gather in community, whether in person as we do today, or virtually as some people are doing today, or all virtually as we did during those months when we had to stay apart, we are practicing hope. We practice hope when we show up for one another in grief, in celebration, in buying needed groceries. When we practice hope, we are indeed nourished, strengthened, pain of loneliness and isolation eased. In this way, we are nourished for the challenges that we must face every day and in the days ahead. Hope is believing that human beings, as flawed, brave, tender, and complicated as we are, can still be sources of healing. This year, we may feel the need to cry out and lament for lives and rights taken without accountability, to join our voices with all those who cry for justice and peace. This year, sitting quietly in the darkness amidst the chaos we witness on the news each night might feel close to impossible. Indeed, finding magic in this season may be difficult for many of us, not just this year, but any year. For how does one sit quietly when life can be so difficult at times, so unkind? And yet, we as human beings continue to nurture hope. And it is, after all, what we do. Howard Zinn, the historian, reminds us, to be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact in human history is not a history of not only of cruelty, it is a history of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. And when we choose to emphasize in this complex history, and what we choose to emphasize will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do anything, says Zinn. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many of them, where people have behaved magnificently, This gives us the energy to act, and at least to imagine the possibility of sending this spinning top of a world in a different direction. Zinn concludes, and if we do act in however small a way, we don't wait for some great, grand, utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of presents. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. Consider again the meaning of this season of darkness to humans across time. This season teaches us something subtle. Hope does not depend on the light being strong. It begins when the light is faint but persistent. And we're invited to kindle that light, not only the literal light in solstice bonfires, Hanukkah candles, or the candles on our tables or our chalices, but also that inner light that guides us toward compassion, curiosity, and courage. A single candle in a dark room matters. A single act of kindness matters. A single moment of courage matters. Hope grows out of small things, words spoken with care, commitments honored, compassion extended. It grows when we help someone carry what is too heavy to carry alone. It grows when we refuse to turn away. It grows when we remember what we are part of, that we are part of something larger than ourselves, a web of community, a lineage of resilience, an unfolding story still being written. The story of a world reborn. Amen, and so may it be. And now, I invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing our closing hymn. Come sing a song with me. It's in our gray hymnal, number 346. And of course, the words will appear on the screen.
And
After the service, please enjoy coffee, tea, and treats in the foyer. And of course, you are welcome to bring your refreshments back into the sanctuary if you would like a quieter place to connect with each other. And if you're a newcomer and willing, we'd like to ask you to raise your hand now so we can greet you in the coffee hour. Oh, good, there's some. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Now, let us go from this place knowing that hope is not a certainty, but rather a choice. When the world offers you despair, choose possibility. When cynicism seems reasonable, choose engagement. May our hope be grounded in love and expressed through action. And may we return here to be together when you need to find the courage to choose one more time. And as we extinguish our chalice, let us go into this day in peace and in hope. Amen, and so may it be.